Okay. Good afternoon. Sorry, I have been announced many times, so I hope I won't disappoint you with my presentation. Also, because, as Veronique said, as evaluators, because I am the coordinator of the evaluation team, we have been asked to some extent to measure, or at least to address what is difficult to measure. I wouldn't say impossible to measure, but what is difficult to measure. And but before, starting with my presentation, I would like to thank you very much for the invitation and also for the welcome. It's a very beautiful place and city. And before going to the content and then to the title, how to measure the results, I would like to share with you a very short reflection. So why to measure the results? Because from my point of view, it's even more important to discuss on the why than on the how. And yeah, the first answer would be, okay, there is the regulation, there is the European Commission, there is the regulatory framework, but more important than that, I think that there is a strong demand from the ground, from the citizens, from the communities, to ensure the necessary accountability. So to explain, to show what has been done and what has been the program contribution to the change in the well-being. So starting from this big demand, from this request from the ground, I would say, we can go to reflect together on how to measure the results. I'm going to introduce you how the program has defined the strategy to measure the results, and also show what is the specific role of the impact evaluation within this framework. So first of all, I think there are three pillars. The first one is the program result indicators, which are a set of measurements trying to measure the changes in the well-being, and these are based on experts' surveys. After that, there are the program output indicators. Gianluca has already made some discussion on that, and these measure what has been done concretely by the projects. And also there is the assessment of the program impact, or the impact of the program. So the description of what the program has contributed to changing. So how to get information about program result indicators based on expert survey. So I don't know, probably some of you have been already surveyed by the program on monitoring the result indicators, or know about them from previous experiences. And as an example, one of these indicators is about the average level of performance of the 2Cs program in the framework conditions for innovation. Then there are the program output indicators, which are based on project information, so which are based on the project activities, on what has been done concretely by the projects. For instance, the number of solutions established for improving the framework conditions for innovation. And there are also the project results, which are information provided by the project and the effects of the project activities on the change due to their concretely activities and outputs. Project results and project outputs come from the project activities, as I said. So, for instance, from the annual progress report. But as you can see from these, for these three pillars, there is a big difference. The first two are based on indicators, result indicators, output indicators. The third one is not based on indicators. It's just based on a strategy of assessment, because there are no impact indicators in the framework we have. So it's necessary to build a strategy, to set up a strategy to assess the impact. So to assess the capacity of the program to contribute to the change. And in this framework, there is the role of the evaluation activity, of the external view of an evaluator. To conduct some ad hoc activities like surveys, case studies, and I will say a few words later, and also other additional analysis, but also to take into account the general program implementation and to build this assessment not only on his own activities, but also on the project realizations, on the project outputs, project results, and on the levels of the program result indicators. So it's important, in order to understand this structure, to get this point. In the framework we have, in this programming period at least, there is a big difference between what is measured directly by the program, by the monitoring system, and what is the impact of the program, which is not directly measured, but should be, it's necessary to set up a strategy to assess it. So we can also try to understand much better this activity of the impact evaluation by approaching a few questions coming from the program evaluation plan. So what has been the real contribution of the program to the change? What is the durability of program output and results? What is, and I would like to stress this, what is the cross-border added value? Because it's not a regional or national program. It's a cross-border specific program, even if the objectives can be similar or somehow are similar in some cases to other programs, but the approach is completely different. And more important, also to come back to the accountability, has this program been able to address, has been capable to address the main needs or the more urgent needs of the territories? So, okay, in the coming months, we will do some activities for the side of the impact evaluation, and in particular, we will focus on case studies. And for that, it will be very important to have the involvement of project partners and also to have your collaboration, of course. And in the month of May, we will start to contact 12 projects and do case studies at that level. The idea is that we will focus on the more advanced projects because they are more likely to produce results and to contribute to the change, even if not concluded yet. Our approach would be to consider three levels of, three perspectives. The lead partner, of course, other project partners, but in particular, the target group's perspective, or at least information on the target groups and on the capacity of the project to achieve, to reach the target groups. And of course, there will be a report, there will be other activities, and in the end, the report, the evaluation report. And our ambition, our hope is that this activity will be useful to, if you want, two main goals. From one side, to describe the contribution to program, and so to the program results. So try to describe the program impacts, but also to some extent to contribute to the project final activities, to stimulate an internal reflection within project partnerships towards the finalization. Last but not least, I would like to draw your attention to a tool we have discussed with program stakeholders and partners in the last, if you want, years, I would say, and which is called benefit mapping, because the idea, or at least the ambition of this exercise, would be not only to illustrate what is the impact at project level, which has been done in some interesting cases, but also what can be the overview of the impact at program level. So the idea would be to cluster the benefits of projects at different levels. And we have proposed some groups which can be discussed, which are just references of potential benefits, of expected benefits. regarding, for instance, the networking capacity, so the development of cross-border clustering, or the knowledge creation, for instance, the increased skills of some specific communities and direct addressees of the projects, socioeconomic benefits like triggered investments and cost savings, environmental benefits on the contribution to reduced emissions. You can think that some of the projects are really committed on that. And also some effects on the governance level, so on the policy-making level. So I don't know if I have given you some elements for the discussion, but yeah, this was my presentation. I thank you very much for your attention and wish you 2 days of 2Cs community together. Thank you.